Hey everyone, welcome to day 78 of What I Learned Today. And what I learned today is that I like my current political mentality. So last semester, earlier in the year, I started on this quest to see both sides. I started watching hosts and personalities from both sides of the political spectrum. And I started getting a lot of the conservative side of a lot of the hot topic issues. For a while there, I was only getting the liberal side. Being in college inherently is very liberal, and a lot of the people around you and a lot of college students are going to be more on the left side and more left-leaning and liberal. But last semester, I started seeing the other perspective, and I started to drift more towards the moderate side. And I wanted to be in a place where I could hear both sides and decide which I want to lean, instead of just blindly and going right for one argument and one side just because that's where I was leaning before. Fast forward to earlier, where I saw Fahrenheit 11/9, a documentary put together by Michael Moore about the current political climate in the United States. And going in, I thought the movie was going to be absolutely terrible. The trailers that I saw looked like it was just fear-mongering, and that it was going to be just horribly biased towards the left. Michael Moore, he is quite left-leaning. He's pretty radical, some people would say. And I just thought it was going to be just an entire President Trump tear down and just ripping the conservatives a new one. And that's what I expected going in. And what I got was a very concise message, which was fix our country. And the way that he got there was more than just who our president right now is. He used the current presidency as a symptom for his larger argument. So he went back to what caused the crazy 2016 election, and what are some other symptoms of the problem that he's seeing. And he brought up issues from both sides. So he talked about the DNC having problems, and he of course talked about the GOP and the stuff that they're doing that he doesn't like. He criticized things that Obama did, and criticized things from previous Democratic presidents, and criticized the Democratic National Party a lot, actually, currently and before too. And of course there were parts where I thought were quite biased. I could see the left-leaning bias in it, but sitting in the theater and having that experience, being exposed to both sides of the argument, I was able to recognize that bias and look through it and not take it at face value, and take that information, and then I can go do my own research later and then figure out my own conclusion and what I think of the information that I gathered. And I thought I was pretty proud of that, that I was able to consume this movie that was made by a very, like I said, I don't really know much about Michael Moore, but a lot of people would say he's a very radical leftist. And the fact that I can watch the documentary that I put out and have takeaways from both sides, and I even learned some new stuff. There's some stuff about the Flint water crisis that I was not aware of. Living in Michigan, that I did not know about the Flint water crisis, that I thought was just absolutely abhorrent. And if all that is true, I really don't like our governor, and I can't believe that he has not been charged criminally for being responsible for the Flint water crisis, because it's just atrocious. He focused a lot about that. Michael Moore is from Michigan, so it makes sense that he focused a lot about that. But the movie dragged on a little bit, but I still enjoyed it, because there, like I said, there was a lot of new information. There was a little bit of humor sprinkled in there, and just if you are interested in politics right now, or if you're a political person at the moment, I would highly suggest going to see that. If you live in Michigan, it is mandatory that you go and watch this movie. There's a large portion dedicated to the Flint water crisis, and that is information that every Michigander should know. And of course, it applies to people outside of Michigan, but if you live in Michigan, it's a must-see for sure. But that's what I thought about Fahrenheit 11/9, and basically it allowed me to reflect on my own political mentality. On to feelings time really quick. What made me feel negative is that I worked a long shift today, 8 hours, and then I have to wake up nice and early tomorrow for game day. So that should be fun. I don't like to complain usually, but I feel like today is kind of a special circumstance. What made me feel happy is that today I pulled out some of my old airsoft stuff and fixed some magazines that I could not fix when I was 16 apparently, and I just fixed them in a half an hour. So today was just kind of, before work of course, today was just kind of a day to hang out and do stuff. And if you made it this far, you might as well hit that subscribe button and tune in every day for a new video. And I apologize for getting a little bit political. I don't like to have politics interfere with this channel at all, but I thought it was important to this lesson, and it's an important lesson for everyone, which is just listen to everybody, consider everyone. And I would like you to comment down below a time where you learned something from someone who doesn't really align themselves politically on the same side as you. Leave that comment down below so we can all learn together and grow together. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow.